Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good day to sir and everyone. So for today, me, FAIRUZ BINTI ABDULLAH, and my group member from Group 4 will be presenting on the topic of problem, issue, and solution of operations in supply chain management during post-COVID-19 pandemic. So, for discussing our topic, I would like to invite our first presenter, which is Sarah. Thank you.
Today I would like to talk about problem and issues operation in supply chain management during post-COVID-19 pandemic. When the COVID-19 epidemic is over, the world will be a very different place. The supply shock that began in China and was followed by a demand shock as the global economic collapse exposed flaws in company production methods and supplies network all around the world. Consumer will continue to want cheap pricing and company will not be able to change higher price just because they manufacture in higher cost home markets. Furthermore, the need to operate effectively and efficiently utilize capital and industrial capacity will continue to mount.
Assalamualaikum, my name is NAZIRA binti JAMALUDIN. So next I would like to talk about the topic on post-pandemic situation. So firstly on the topic is the logistic issue. Global travel restriction tightened. More than 30 airlines were forced to hold all flights or cut the number of scheduled flights, resulting in even less capacity. This is, as we know, COVID-19 lockdown were no longer in effect or has less restriction on April 2020. So the majority of factories could open and operate in multiple countries throughout the world. However, border control was still in place in some locations, this is restricting mobility and travel and obstructing international trade and also the transportation. So secondly, on the shortage of workforce, this is resulting in a very long delivery periods and shipping delays that have reverberated throughout the supply chain. So this year has been marked by uncertainty, and labour shortage has only added to the difficulty of crucial industrial prospects. The manufacturing industry as well as its supply chains has been hit worse. The consequences of the labour deficit are not evenly dispersed. This is due in part to the industrial and supply chain industry bad public impression. So employee lack the staff and capacity to adequately manage, process and unload US imports.
So thank you. Let's move on the impact on the business landscape. So basically this issue and problem on this topic has give an impact on the business landscape where it's encouraged the innovation in supply chain management. As the COVID-19 pandemic has caused a significant disruption to the global supply chain, where this disrupt the movement of the people, the finishing goods, the raw material, the factory operation, also the partner operations. And moreover, it's also prompt a shift of online innovation collaboration as the traditional innovation collaboration are no longer feasible to be used. And this can be seen on the actions of the company like Amazon and also AQILA, where they have moved on to use an advanced technology like robot and also AI to manage their operation and also supply chain, where today's has been proven to be the winners during COVID-19. And that's all from me. Moving on to the next part.
Hello, my name is NURUL binti MAZLAN. Now I'm going to present about the solutions of the problems and issues for operation in supply management during post-COVID-19. As we know, during this pandemic, most airlines industries have redesigned their commercial airlines to serve as cargo planes. This is in a bid to keep earnings and profits high while also employing some of their employees. Furthermore, an increasing number of cargo planes and freight operators are also introducing services targeted to medium and small freight forwarders. Besides that, more countries had collaborative efforts by suppliers. When it comes to the shortage of suppliers, the few ones that remain have banded together now to share the cost. For instance, most manufacturers have agreed to share the expense of storing containers during shipments. Even with low volumes to work with, they are still in operation. Other than that, most logistic companies have now developed Internet of Things warehousing facilities, robotic system, and artificial intelligence powered technology platform for customer relationship management in order to stop it from spreading. Accepting e-freight services has also done its best to provide alternative market pathways in an effort to curb the virus from spreading. The automotive sector was the greatest afflicted by supply chain interruptions during the COVID-19 outbreak. The lack of semiconductors was particularly affecting the auto sector, which forced many car makers to reduce or cut production at some of their factories. The chip scarcity is because of an increase in demand for personal computers and other consumers electronics devices as a result of the COVID lockdowns, which kept many people at home. So there are several steps that may be taken to reduce the risk associated with the automotive supply chain. First of all, it would be acceptable and appropriate to shift automotive parts supply source and production to the same geographic location with the final client, which is car maker. It would give automotive companies more real-time visibility throughout the supply chain. The automotive industry also has to rethink how it forms and manage semiconductor supply contracts in the long term. This can be accomplished by creating a more balanced risk-sharing strategy that aligns with the full value chain. Additionally, manufacturers should reconsider their existing just-in-time strategy. It will include choosing a regional supply to lessen their reliance on suppliers who have a monopoly or are geographical distant. That's all from me. Thank you, and I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
In conclusion, COVID-19 was started and identified from Wuhan, Hubei, China, and started spreading around the world in December 2019. The pandemic COVID-19 gave many impacts on everyone from the youngest to oldest generation around the world. In addition, when the COVID-19 epidemic is over, the world will be a different place. This is because the supply shocks that began in China was followed by a demand shock as a global collapse and exposed flaws in company production methods and supply network around the world. Therefore, shortage of pharmaceuticals in healthcare are temporary trade restrictions that expose their flaws. By the trend, together with the trade conflict between the countries, have fueled an increase in economic nationalism. As a result, manufacturers around the world will face increased political and competitive pressures to increase their domestic production, growth, employment in their home countries to reduce, even eliminate their reliance on risky sources and reconsider their use of lean manufacturing strategies that involve minimizing inventory health in global supply chains. The challenge for business will be to strengthen their supply network while maintaining their competitiveness. In my recommendation, During post-COVID-19, all companies need to be aware of this issue of the virus that might help them develop suitable measures and reinvent their supply chain. However, recovery issue and challenge have yet to be completely evaluated in research due to the global COVID-19 pandemic rarity. Hence, the other industries such as health and food may have various implications and challenges which may be researched further in future. Thus, all industries need to set up back their strategies to maintain their supply chain based on demands that needs to be calculated from the workers to the production costs for all industries such as from small business to big companies. In the nutshell, everyone must be aware of this virus and need to keep hygiene of antibodies. This because the virus can be fast spread and affect everyone, especially to the oldest generation. Apart of that, there are several impacts and solutions of this pandemic during post-COVID-19 that researchers write up based on their articles around the world.
Thank you so much, Hanis, for your explanations. And that will bring us to the end of these discussions. I would like to thank you for your time and attentions. Thank you so much for your interest and attentions. And have a nice day.